unless you've been living under a rock, you have probably been told that your dog needs to be socialized. Whether or not you've got a puppy, whether or not you adopted a new dog, maybe you were told that your newly adopted dog didn't have enough socialization and that's why it's a problem. Either way, socialization has come up. Am I right? What does it mean? It means more exposure, more people, more dogs, more experiences. But what if that's actually not the answer? Wah, wah. And in some cases, it might even be making things much, much worse. That's what we're talking about today, my friends. Socialization. It ain't all it's cracked up to be. Let's get into it. Ready to have a calm and peaceful life with your dog without the stress of those fear-based behaviors? Hi, I'm Tracy, and I've been there, overwhelmed by all the conflicting dog training advice and unsure of what to do next. But now I help dog lovers like you simplify your life with your dog by building confidence naturally, fostering trust, and addressing those fear-based challenges. So, if you're ready, stop chopping those chicken wieners and let's get to it. Hey there, friend. If you are looking for more support and you want to work with me more closely, I've got a couple of options for you. First and foremost, you can always join my Fearless Framework program. 12 months online. We do monthly Q&As. We have our beautifully supportive, wonderful Facebook community where you can post videos and get help and tips all the time. All of that happening for an incredibly low price. You could do that. Or if you're someone who wants a little bit more personalized support, I also offer one-on-one online coaching calls. Either way, I'll drop those details in the show notes and you can check it out when you're ready. I'll see you there. Well, hello, my dog-loving friend. It is Tracy. Welcome to Beyond Obedience, the podcast. Super duper welcome if you are brand new. So glad you are here, my friend. If you are brand new, welcome to you. We're so glad that you are here. Listen, this is a podcast that talks about all things beyond obedience. We're talking about the things that go beyond obedience. Someone once told me they thought that beyond obedience meant that I do so much obedience, I'm all about obedience. And I was like, should I rebrand? Because that's not at all what I'm talking about. No, in fact, it means beyond obedience because there's so much more to your life with dogs than just obedience. And we want to make sure that we're taking all of that into consideration. Today, I am talking about good old socialization. If you've been following me for a while, I've probably talked about this numerous times, but I want to talk about it again, mostly because I have become the person that didn't socialize my dog. It's true. It's true. It's me. I haven't socialized my dog. And life happens, I know for the longest time, many people got dogs during COVID and they were like, I wasn't allowed to socialize my dog. For me, COVID was a nice break. It meant that people couldn't come up to me with their dogs. But I didn't have dogs that quote unquote, needed to be socialized at that time. So it didn't matter to me. Anyway, I digress. The point is, you'll hear it all the time. All right, you're going to hear it all the time. Your dog just needs more socialization. But honestly, what does that mean? Because socialization, I think all of us got wrong. Myself included. I know. I can honestly tell you for a while there, I was telling people that you should have 100 different people handle your dog before they're a certain age. I said those words. Those were words I said. Yeesh, because I had gone to a seminar. What seminar was it? I think it might have been Ian Dunbar. I think it was Ian Dunbar. I have a picture, actually. I should find it. I'll put it in the newsletter if I can find it. I'll have a picture of me and Ian Dunbar having a beer. And it was at that point in time, I was like, that should be my goal, is to meet as many different trainers as I can. Just take pictures of like us having beer. I don't even like beer. I did it for Ian. I also did it for the late, great George Cockrell. I went to a seminar. He wasn't teaching the seminar. I met him at a seminar. He was also one of the participants at the seminar. And I remember I'd heard a lot about George Cockrell, and shy, introverted little, thing that I am. I was like, ugh. And I remember everyone else is going out for dinner and they're all making plans. And I was like, I'll probably just go back to my hotel, get takeout, go back to my hotel. But I was like, no, Tracy, if you don't step out of your comfort zone, you're never going to. So I was like, I am going to go with George Cockrell's group and have a beer with George Cockrell. And I did. And I was so glad that I did. So there you go. What? Now I'm just talking about trainers and beer. What? It's mostly about me socializing. Now, see, I have to get myself out and socialize more. What am I talking about? Oh, socialization. Yeah, like what does it even mean? What does socialization mean, right? Because the common belief here when we're talking about socialization, contrary to what I was just talking about, which is going out and having a beer, when we're talking about dogs, it's about this idea of like more exposure equals a better dog. More interactions equals confidence. More dogs and people means that your dog will be quote unquote friendly. But for a lot of dogs, especially dogs that are fearful or reactive, this is going to actually make things worse. Now, we had an interesting discussion in the April Q&A in the Fearless Framework. Someone had actually asked about, it was the classic conversation about nature versus nurture. Are there dogs that are just born innately unconfident? And the answer to that is yes. And the way that we partner up with those dogs, the way that we experience the world with those dogs does shape how they experience it, how they manage it. So it is a thing that like some fearful or reactive dogs, if we're just going out there just all willy-nilly being like, go see these people, go see these dogs, go do this thing, we're actually going to be making it worse, right? Because it backfires if we overwhelm the dog. It backfires if what we end up doing, what we think we're doing is socializing, ends up being flooding, right? It ends up feeling like the dog doesn't feel safe and that the dog doesn't feel like you understand them. It always goes back to this idea of ask the dog, And I know I'm going to say this. Because it does come up, and I've sat with this for a while. This idea, because many trainers who I respect, by the way, like I mad respect for these trainers, but I've had trainers in the past that say, listen, we get what you're saying, Tracy, and that's like a lovely utopia, that you're dreaming about, but we live in reality here, and the reality of it is that people are going to try to pet the dog and touch the dog, and things are going to happen. And so we have to teach our dogs to tolerate poor human behavior. And I have to admit, that one kind of punched me in the gut a little bit, because there's a part of me that knows that they are right? There's a part of me that knows that they are right, that just genuinely, like, you go out in the world and people seem to think that dogs are still just property. It's how they used to. I mean, maybe still in some bylaws, they're still considered quote unquote property. But, people treat them like they are just property. And worse than that, probably worse than property in a lot of cases, because I would say, like, I don't think that many people assume that you can just go up to anything that I own and just like touch it or do whatever you want with it, right? Like, we don't necessarily have that. But for dogs, we kind of do. We have this, like, almost like we have this, it's our right almost to go and pet a dog or to see a dog or to whatever with a dog. Like, we have this weird sort of thing. And so there was a part of me that, like I remember having that conversation and going home and being like, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. And I started reframing, like thinking to myself, gosh, maybe I should be training dogs and training people, or training dogs to tolerate dumb human behavior. And then I was like, no. Then one day I was like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. I would rather us catch up, like if back in the day we considered dogs property, it was also back in the day when we didn't really take our dogs places. They stayed on our property. They stayed in the house. We didn't travel with them. We didn't take them to outdoor cafes. We didn't do all of these things with them. See, we have changed. We have now changed how we feel about our dogs. Our dogs are no longer just property. They are our, oh my gosh, I'm going to say it. Am I going to say it? How hard it is for me to say it. I can't say it. There are dogs. See, I can't do it. I was going to say the FB word. She couldn't do it. They are part of our family. They are our best friends. They are our partners. They are our emotional support, whatever. Like, they are so much more than just property. And so I think we need to start changing the dialogue. I think instead of making our dogs tolerate ignorant human behavior, we really need to just start stopping the ignorant human behavior. Is that too much to ask? I mean, you tell me. Is it too much to ask? Tell me. Is it too much? I don't think it is. I think we can start to change the dialogue. I think we can start to say to people, ask the dog. You know what? I used to say that when I was teaching kids about dog safety. I started talking to children that way, saying that, it's great that you go and ask the parents, is it okay if I pet your dog? That's fantastic. Always do that. Never run up to a dog you don't know. That's great advice. But after you've asked the parents or the dog owners, you need to then ask the dog. And that is when I used to teach them about the doggy handshake and how we do it. And we don't look at them with all three of our eyes and blah, 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 blah. And if the dog hangs out or the dog stays with you, then that means it's okay to pet them. But if the dog turns their head and goes, no, thank you, it just means no, thank you. And we respect the dog. And then we leave. And kids get it. I mean, kids get it. Like, they understood the assignment. Then I was like, go home and tell your parents. Because when we fail to listen to what our dogs are saying, when we fail to actually ask our dogs, we end up with this whole, the dog feels betrayed by us. When a dog is clearly saying things like, I'm not comfortable in this situation, this person makes me feel uncomfortable, and we're like, go see, go say hi, go do these things. The dog is like, you don't get me at all, right? And that's where the no safety thing comes, right? They're not learning confidence. They're learning survival. And what are they learning about that survival? They're learning that they can't trust you, that you are no longer a partner in survival with them. Right? Because socialization isn't about exposure. It is about how your dog feels in the world. and more importantly, how your dog feels in the world with you. It always has to anchor back to you. It's about you and your dog, you and this beautiful dog that you are building this beautiful partnership with. You. My mic fell down. Hold on. Did anyone hear that? Technical difficulties. My mic just dropped to the ground. I will also say too, as a sidebar, my podcast room is falling apart. Oh no. What is happening? Why are you doing that? How do I tighten this? Hold on. Hold, please. Professional would just edit this part out. I'm not going to. I will say, I don't know if you can hear it, because I hear it when I replay my episodes to make sure that they worked. If you could see my podcast room right now, I used to have the padding up on the wall, but I think because this winter has been really, really rough, and my son went to college, so he's not down here anymore. So we don't turn the heat on in this room, and I guess the cold that's in this room when I'm not in it has caused all of my foam pads to fall down. So I feel like I'm in a tin can again. Like, do I sound like I'm in a tin can? Anyway, what was I talking about? Again, Tracy, focus. Listen, all of this stuff kind of ties together. I don't know if you're aware, like if you think about the last few things that I had been talking about, it all kind of ties together, right? We talked about happiness with their needs being met, and partnering means that you're listening, and that 99% of the time of like with your dog is not about your obedience training. It's how you show up and how you are with your dog. And socialization should be no different. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be living it now. I probably should have gone out and done it more before I had this episode. I'll share it. As I mentioned, I've become the person that I didn't socialize my dog, and now I am, going to be taking him out into the world, and because the weather's getting nicer now, we're going to want to go to the beach and do all of those things, and I'm not really worried about it. Why? Because people worry about socialization, like how is he going to react, and is he going to be bad with people? Here's the thing. I don't think about socialization that way, because I don't need him to go meet people. Like when I take him out, it's not like I'm taking him out to go see people. I'm taking him out to explore the world with me, and there's going to be people there. That's a different way to frame it, right? My goal going out there isn't to be like, we're going to go see people, and those people are going to touch you and pet you and ask you if you want a treat. No. I'm just going out to do my thing. You're going to be with me, and there's going to be people around. And the idea is going to be, we're still going to move through space, and we're going to do these things together. And if someone comes up, which inevitably they will, because hands down, my dog is beautiful. And I know people are going to do people things that, I'm going to be making sure that my top priority is him. And if people are just not, if they're going to be rude, if they're not going to actually give him space and time and whatnot, we're not going to deal with those people. We're going to ignore those people. Luckily for me, I do have kind of a disapproving resting face, if you know what I mean, like my resting face. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that always got asked what's wrong. It used to drive me crazy. People are always like, what's the matter? And I'd look at them and be like, nothing is the matter. This is just my face. My face looks like this. This is my face. This is what my face looks like. And then it got to the point where people were like, what's the matter? I'm like, you know what's the matter? It's people asking me what's the matter. Anyway, because of that, I can get away with a little bit more of ignoring people and whatnot, which is nice. But I I'm going to be intentional about where I take him and who I meet. And if I'm around a bunch of strangers, I'm going to be doing the things that clearly say I'm not interested in having people coming up and touching him or talking to him or any of those things. And we're just going to move through space together. We're partnering through the word together. We're going to experience things together. I'm not I'm not going to make him sit and have to tolerate people touching him. We're not going to be going to see other dogs. We're just going to go and be and see what happens. And I'm going to advocate for him, and I'm going to ask him, and I'm going to watch him, and I'm going to make sure that I'm listening to him because I am his partner. I am his partner in survival. And that is my goal. And if you're interested in how that all turns out, you should head over to the Fearless Framework because I am recording it all. Yes, I am. I am taking all the members of the Fearless Framework are going on this journey with me. They're all Team Gunther over there too. They're all, we'll say, they're all cheering on Gunther, except for one student who just likes Nike. But she's always cheering on Nike. But they're all Team Gunther, and they're all like, we're all learning together. We're going to do this together. We're learning together. So if you want to be a part of that, you should head on over and become a member of the student community. That's the Fearless Framework, 12 months online, learning all about all the things we talk here on the podcast. So that'll be in the show notes, but you can go and check that out at beyondobedience.ca/fearless if you're interested in that. We'll see how it goes. I'm actually kind of excited about it. Mostly excited because the weather is better. The weather is so much better now. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see how he does and not how he does. I'm excited to see how we do. Let me put it that way. There we go. That's true pro-social right there. I'm excited to see how we do. Anyway, my whole point to all of this is that if I could anchor you back to what socialization means, it means that you're doing it together. It's you and the dog experiencing the world together, and you knowing your dog so well and reading your dog so well and asking your dog, and how do you feel about that? And being okay with the answer. I should add that. Be okay with the answer. Even if that answer might not be what you expected or what you wanted, right? Perhaps you wanted a dog that was going to be the happy-go-lucky dog that goes up to everybody. And if your dog is like, I'm not really sure, be okay with the answer. That's the dog that you got. But that doesn't mean that your life is going to be, I can't ever take him out anywhere. That's not what that means. You don't have to have the happy-go-lucky dog. You just have to have enough of a relationship with your dog that you hear your dog, you understand your dog, and you make the adjustments that make your dog feel safe and comfortable in the environment. That is socialization. Beyond obedience style. I don't think that's socialization in any of the training books, but that's what socialization means to me. All right. I think that's it today, my friend. Listen, if you like this kind of thing, be sure to head on over to Apple if you're listening over there. Give me a 5-star written review. It only takes like a few minutes. Leave that written review. It really helps push the podcast out to more and more people. Follow me over on Spotify. Leave me a comment on Spotify. Join the free Facebook community, Living Beyond Obedience. If you want to hang out over there, leave your pictures of your dogs. I love pictures of the dogs. We love those kind of things. You can hang out over there with us in the free Facebook group. And as always, my dog-loving friend, get out there today, and be the person that your dog thinks you are, because your dog thinks you're amazing. And so do I. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Oh, and one more thing. This podcast is meant for entertainment, education purposes only. It's not meant to replace hands-on professional training. If you're really struggling with your dog, please reach out to a professional in your area. All right, I think that's it. Bye for now.